What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to this episode of BRICKcast Desktop Builds, and it is another installation of our Battlebots series. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to build Duck out of Lego. Duck is an awesome Battlebot. It's a pretty neat strategy in the era of destructive weapons and crazy killer bots to literally just have an indestructible box with an indestructible wedge. It is crazy how many hits this bot can take, and I think it was a super cool addition to our little BattleBots array that we have created. So a little bit about this mock. This is one of the hardest builds I've had to do. If you look at last year's model of Duck, it didn't have these two side arms, which was going to make it be a lot easier to construct, and I almost built that one. But when the new season came out, it was a huge challenge for me to actually work these arms into the build that Hal added on the new version of Duck and still allow Duck to be able to spin freely from its body, drive around, use its arm to clear both directions, drive upside down. It was a challenge, definitely, and I came up with this design using this piece here, these ball and socket joints, and these brackets to give Duck a really robust wedge. Now the whole wedge is actually 1 brick thick, which is pretty big, a little bigger definitely if I was scaling this totally accurately, but I'm kind of keeping up with the large accentuated weapon design that I've been showing off on most of my BattleBot builds, and I think it ended up looking perfect with these sloped sides. Now, before we get into the tutorial, just wanted to remind you guys, if you like this video, if you love the mock, be sure to subscribe, comment which BattleBots you want to see next time on BRICKcast Desktop Builds, because I'm sticking with this on the BattleBots, and I want to bring you guys as many as I can. So let's get started on the build. I know I'm excited to show you guys this one. I hope you're ready to go. Let's take a look at the pieces you'll need to build Duck. So as we start off building Duck, we're going to need a lot of pieces from our collections. As you can see, I've got some 1x1 bricks with a Technic pinhole and some other 1x1 bricks along with some plates and one tile there on the end. So starting out, we're just going to take one of these 1x3 plates right here in white. These are going to hold our Duck build together, and to start off, we're going to take one of each of these pinhole bricks, and we're going to angle this way and attach them just like this on the front of that plate there. We want to make sure that the pinhole is facing outwards and not upwards. That's really important. Then we're just going to do the same on the other side. So we have this little 3-brick construction here with pinholes on either side, and then we're going to fill in the space in the middle with this solid 1x1 brick. Slide that right between the two, and now we've got the first sort of third section of Duck's chassis. We're going to build 3 of these and connect them all together. So now we're just going to move on to the other side, grab another one of these pinhole bricks, and put it right behind that first one, just like so. So we got this. We're going to put the other one. It's important that we build off of our plates here. We don't add on to the end of our bricks because the plates sort of working as the frame that's holding it all together. So if we just build off of this end without a plate in between, it's going to start falling apart pretty fast. And then the last 1x1 brick, going to pop in right there. And now we've got our Duck body almost fully completed. We're just going to take this, another frame piece, just a 1x3 plate, and that's going to stick right on the front here. And you see that pressed down. Now it's a little sturdier, and as I said earlier, we're just going to keep building off the plate. So do the same thing. Take one of these pinhole bricks, right there so that you have 3 pinholes on each side as we go ahead and do that on the other. And we lay it down horizontally and it looks like that instead of vertically. We're going to have this sort of smooth top to duck. And then on the front, just going to press that 1 by 1 brick right in there. This is going to be the front side of duck, and we're going to seal this off. If you can kind of straighten out, these can get a little messed up. There are a lot of angles in here, and sometimes the 1 by 1 bricks can get kind of twisted, but since we needed these pinholes on the end, using 1 by 1 bricks was the best way to accomplish this. So now that you've got that together, we're just going to seal it all off on the end with a tile piece on these 3 open studs. Press that tile right on there. And now we have the body of duck. Now it's time to make this mass we've created as duck's body sort of look like something. And in order to do this, we're going to be taking advantage of these gray Technic pins that we see here. Not only are these going to attach the wheels, but they're also going to attach duck's actuating weapon, its lifting arm plow. First things first, we're going to take our little body of duck that we've constructed so far, and in these Technic pinholes, you guessed it, we're going to place 1 of these gray Technic pins in each of the pinholes. So just pop that down like that and add another one on there. So we have those gray pins sticking out. Again, it's really important you use the gray Technic pins here because the black Technic pins and the other colors actually have more resistance on them. So the gray ones will spin easier. So gray Technic pins are great for adding on wheels or something like duck's weapon, which needs to spin fairly freely. So now we've got this little body with some kind of leg things sticking out on the end. And in order to add the mounting mechanism for duck's weapon, we'll just kind of set this aside for a sec. We're going to take some 1 by 1 white bricks and just attach one of these 1 by 1 plates onto it. Now this is going to fill in some space later when we attach that weapon arm. We're going to go ahead and do this twice with each of our 1 by 1 brick and plates, make a little combination right there. And then on this middle Technic pin, we're going to slap 1 of these on each. So just right underneath where it would normally attach to a stud, we're going to slide that on right here. It's kind of a bizarre building technique, but I do use it often. Not something you really see in Lego sets a lot, but in this case I think it works super well for adding that sort of shape that duck has to its body, which is almost like a plus sign, I guess. Not quite, but it just has these 2 outcrops of the body and armor that I wanted to include in this build. So stick those on there, and then we are going to attach the wheels to get this bot rolling. I've saved you some time. I've already put the tires on. It's pretty intuitive, but you just need 4 of these little gray wheels and 4 tires. Just pop those tires on there, and once you're done with that, 1 wheel on each of these open Technic pins. And now this is finally starting to look like something. Wheels always bring it together with Battlebots. There you go. So now we have this pretty symmetrical little box. The foundation for duck rolls around. So to build the arms by which duck moves its awesome weapon, we're going to use some of these new ball and socket joints from Lego. At least they're pretty new to me. I did not have these luxuries of pieces when I was a kid, but I finally found a great place to use them on this duck build, and I think it worked super well. So let's just get right into it. We're going to build 2 arms. That's where these gray ball and socket joints will come in. Luckily, this piece is only available in gray, but duck does have those silver arms, so this works just fine. So take 1 of these with the socket on it, and you're going to attach this 1 by 3 plate to it, just with 1 stud of overhang right there. And then you're going to take the ball joint and make sure that you have the studs facing inwards. And you're going to attach it at a 90-degree angle, just like this. So press the ball into the socket And there we should have an angle like this. We want to make sure that the studs are facing inward, and then we're going to build one for the opposite side. So we've already built the left arm of duck. Now we're just going to go ahead and build the right arm. So take your other piece, attach the plate on there. Awesome. It's got the tile and that open area. And then we're just going to do the same thing. Make sure that we attach these so that you have the open part on the inside for the socket joint and the studs on the inside for the ball joint. So open part on the inside for the socket, studs inside for the ball joint. It should look like this when you sort of lay them out in front of you. Then you know that you're doing it correctly. These will eventually attach to the side of the body of our BattleBot. So as we just get these out of frame for 1 second, we're going to build the front of the plow on either side. Going to build it in 2 parts. So first off, we're going to build the left side. Take one of these brackets. We want an upward tilted bracket. And then you're going to take one of these sloped bricks with 1 stud on the end. And you're going to connect that for the left side. You're going to put it on the left side of this bracket. Make sure that that angle is tilting down. We have the nice sloped side of duck's wedge. And then we're going to mount on top just this tile, and there we have one side of duck's wedge that will attach to the arm. But first we're going to build the right side. So just literally the same thing except mirrored right there. And then we're going to throw this tile on top, and there we have the 2 mirrored sides of duck's wedge. They should look all right like that. And now we're going to finish it off by attaching the arms on. So take the left side arm, and right on this ball joint, the dark gray piece, we're going to attach that to the bracket just like that. Make sure we keep that 90-degree angle because that's going to be important for fitting it all together in the end. And then on the right side, we're going to do the same. Mount it right there on that 90-degree angle. Now we've got the 2 sides of duck's weapon, and we will move on to the last step. So now we've got all our important sections of duck fully constructed. The last piece we're going to have to build is my favorite. That's what makes this bot itself, the weapon, the duck bill. That is hilarious and is awesome and a super strong weapon. So we're just going to build that and add it onto our wedge. So as you can see, I've got one of my favorite little nifty pieces right over here. That is this guy, this awesome little orange tooth. I decided to use this as the duck bill. I thought it was a pretty effective piece, and in dark orange, it's going to look pretty awesome on the mock when it comes together. So we're going to take that, and we're going to attach it right directly in the center of this 1x3 plate, just on that center stud. Doesn't really matter which way it faces as long as we make sure it gets mounted on the build in the right direction. So it should look just like that. This is going to go between either side of our plow that we've constructed. Then you're going to take this 1x1, just a 1x1 tile. That's going to go right on top here to fill in some space. And then finally, duck does have a little hammer weapon. It's actually that little black spike you can see on the top of the robot is actually a little hammer weapon, so it can actually use its plow as a hammer in certain situations. And I wanted to add that on. Originally I didn't have this feature on the build, but it just looked a little too bland. It looked like it was missing something. So I decided to add this little black slope just to replicate that hammer. And you're going to make sure you attach this right on top of this 1x1 plate. And we want the slope to be facing forwards. So sloped downwards toward the duck bill, and that's going to be the centerpiece of duck's actual weapon plow. So to bring it all together, first we're going to take duck's body, and we're still going to need to attach the arms first. So where we have this gray 1x1 piece, as you remember from earlier in the video, we're just going to take the left side, we'll do first. We'll take this open area of duck's arm, and we're going to attach it right on top of that, just like that. Now, you might have to adjust the ball and socket a little bit so that it clears just fine, because we saw it was rubbing on the wheel there. Right now, it seems to be working all right. So then we have that arm completed, and we'll just mount the other arm on in the exact same fashion. Just press it on like that, adjust this piece a little bit, and then this is a little bit of a janky way to finish off this build, but see, we've got nothing here to connect duck's plow together, and that's where this piece is going to come in. So we're going to first just press it on one of these sides of the plow, make sure it is just sort of fitting in there. It's like an L shape, so it kind of fits in that open area underneath, and then we'll tilt this under, press that on, and that should complete duck's wedge. Just want to make sure that we sort of adjust these ball and socket joints so that they fit right without it rubbing too much on the wheels. You might have to finagle it a little bit to get it to work, but once you have it fully built, it comes together super nicely, and we have duck's weapon, duck rolls, and it is totally invertible in either direction. So that is it. Hopefully you have completed your own version of duck. I was really happy to share this mock with everybody. This is the culmination of a lot of hard work on my part. You know, I ordered the pieces, but it took me a really long time, about 4 hours of building to get this thing dialed in the way I liked, and even I had to refine it a little bit after that point. So I think it turned out great. I love that it's invertible. You know, the weapon works really well. It kind of captures the essence of duck and its driver, its strategy, everything. The one thing that I would regret about this build is just adding a little bit of blue to it. When I put it together, I realized I should have ordered a blue brick to go right there in the center, because on the actual duck robot, there is that sort of blue circle graphic in the middle. It says duck on it. So maybe if you want to add that to your robot in some sort of way, whether it's with a blue brick or maybe you want to sort of custom paint your bot, whatever you want to do, go for it. But I think as far as structure goes, this thing turned out awesome. I'm super happy to add it to the rest of the BattleBot collection. Now be sure to stay tuned to BRICKcast for more LEGO BattleBot builds. I've got a few more on tap for you guys, but that's it for this week. Hope you've enjoyed building duck. I've certainly enjoyed building with you. Until next time, this has been Drew on BRICKcast.